Welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month we'll be meeting with two couples from Laguna Woods who tell their story about how they met. And spoiler alert, this episode we have no pickleball players. So let's get started. We have Sue and David Deering here. David is I've acted with David. David is one of the earliest old pros. He's been my director. It's been a pleasure working with him. And Sue is the president of the Democratic Club. Hello, David and Sue.
Hello, Sheryl.
Thank you for asking us to do this.
I have three questions that I ask everybody. Where are you from?
Well, we're from a couple different places, okay? I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and Susan was born in Vienna.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going to let her tell her background a little bit, and then we'll talk about how we came to the village, which is another one of your questions.
So you're from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've heard of that.
Good.
And you're from Vienna?
Yes, I came when I was 3 years old to this country.
Oh my goodness, are you an American citizen?
It's a long story, but I was born an American citizen.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then where'd you wind up when you came to America?
New York.
Okay.
In New York.
Wonderful
New York
place.
City, Manhattan.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Washington Heights.
Okay. And all right.
And
go on.
No, and then we met in upstate New York, where we were both teaching, but David can talk about that.
What city?
We lived in a small ski town about 120 miles from New York, Wyndham, and we were.
Wait.
Hold on.
We're gonna.
Yeah, and we were from different places. Okay, and I know you have a question that's coming up, so I won't.
Okay,
I won't go there.
Okay. How long have you been a couple?
40. Well, does that count being married or just being a couple?
Total time. Total time.
Since 1975, so that's 48 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
And how long have you been in the village?
Since 2006, 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, now let's get to
17
business.
years.
Okay.
How'd you meet?
I was teaching in this small school, as I mentioned, in the Catskill Mountains of New York. Okay. And I was going through a divorce. Very amicable, thank you, dear. And I was standing outside my classroom in June, as school was about to end, and I saw this girl then walking down the hall, and I said, my goodness, she certainly looks interesting. And we said hello, I'm sure we said hello, but then I didn't see her again until fall, all right? And she was hired as a French teacher, and I was there as an English teacher. And my room was 208, and her room was 206. So our rooms were right next to each other.
Okay.
And that's how we met, okay?
And is that your version too, Sue?
Yes. And then he asked me out for pizza first.
We were at a conference, all right? And we were sitting on the school bus. I was sitting in the back reading a story, and she was in the front. And I sat back there partly reading and partly thinking, could I work up the courage to ask her out for pizza? I mean, this wasn't a date. We were just going to go for pizza. So I said yes. And I walked up and said, would you like to go for pizza? And she said yes. And off we went.
Okay, so you're both teaching high school. Mm-hmm. Did the kids notice anything going on between the two of you?
It was a small school. I mean, a really, really small school and a small community. So everybody knew everything, okay? No question about that. And so we wanted to get together and go ahead, honey.
Okay. And so we actually started living together before we got married. And the principal, we actually went to see the principal and said, look, we're going to do this. Is this going to be a problem in the community? Because it was a very conservative community. And he said, yes, actually, some of the board members have already spoken to me about it. And I just told them that they're two of the best teachers we have, and we're not going to do anything to upset the apple cart. So that was that. It was okay. And then we got married, so then it was really okay.
And the school board referred to us as the couple keeping house together.
Do you know you're the second Catskill couple that I've had on the show?
Oh, no kidding.
But I think your Catskills a little different from the other Catskills.
Very possibly.
area.
We were Northern Catskills,
Right.
and there was the Southern Catskills.
Right.
Yes.
So then, how many kids do you have?
2.5, 3.
3.
I was, as I said, going through a divorce. I had a lovely little 3-year-old daughter. And then when Susan and I got married, we had 2 children together. So we have a total of 3.
And grandchildren?
4?
We have, yes, we have some extras too, because David's daughter has 2 step daughters, and so they're also our granddaughters.
Okay, David, you are really big in the old pros. You've been acting quite a bit and directing quite a bit. Were you doing that as an English teacher?
Yes, I did the theater in my school with one of my colleagues, okay, for 30 years. We had to do our plays in the gym because there was no theater. This school was so small. But it had a curtain and a stage, and we managed between volleyball and basketball, we managed.
And have you always been in politics?
No. I was always very busy at school raising our 2 kids. I was the advisor to the yearbook, and I had a French club. I took students to France and to Canada. And so I didn't have time, but as soon as I retired, I said I need to get involved with the Democrats. And so as soon as I moved out here, I did, and rose through the ranks, and have been either president or vice president since 2009.
Okay, so I think I understand that none of your kids live out here.
Right.
So why did you come out?
Here's the deal. We lived in a little log cabin, okay? And Susan said to me, David, could we move to California so I could spend some time with my mother? Her mother lived here.
Oh.
And I said, of course. And she said to me, if we do that, when my mother passes, I'll move anywhere you want. And I said, okay, that's a good deal. So we left California, arrived in the village. We arrived in 2006. Her mother passed in 2012. And she said to me, okay, where are we going? And by that time, we were really established in the village. And I said, I like it here. Wouldn't mind having a garage for my motorcycle. And so we moved from 899 to 3197.
Perfect.
With the garage.
With the garage.
With a garage.
With a 2-car garage.
Right.
2-car garage.
And then I know that you weren't an original old pro. How'd you get into that?
When I moved here, I wanted to do theater, as Susan wanted to do the Dem Club. And so I auditioned for the night of January 16th, the fall that I was here. We moved here in July, and I auditioned in the fall. And Sheila Bialka, who was then directing with Larry Strauss, asked me to read a part. She said, can you do a New York accent? I said, yeah, I can do a New York accent. You got a part for me? Okay. And that's how I got started. That was actually a Theater Guild production. And then I got involved in Theater Guild and was on the board of Theater Guild. Oh. And then got involved again with the Old Pros and Theater Guild, and kind of evolved more toward the Old Pros.
Got it. There was a lovely picture of your family, everybody together. Was that on a trip or something? Do you guys go away together?
I'm trying to think.
The picture was in Georgia on the steps, honey. The one you sent of all of us on the steps.
That was not the picture.
Okay.
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 I think the picture was in Julie's, Julie was in college at the time, and at Virginia Tech, and we were visiting, and this was in her apartment that where she was living in college. So anyway, but we did do traveling with the kids. We drove cross country twice with the kids. David did most of the driving, and sometimes the kids and I slept in the car, and sometimes we camped. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of fun. And
So you both taught while you had kids?
Yes.
When
Yes.
the kids were little?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I had a year off for each child, and 1 year David was a Fulbright exchange teacher, and we spent 6 months in England and London, and but we both taught, and it worked out well. You know, I corrected papers at soccer games, etc., and because our kids were very active in sports.
I just went to a 5-year-old soccer game on Saturday. You could do anything during those games. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, going back to you, were you a war baby?
Okay, it's quite a long story.
Oh, we have time.
Okay, my mother came here during before the Second World War. My grandfather had the foresight to see the writing on the wall, and came with his family because they were Jewish. And my father had already lived here, but I'm not 100% sure why. And they got married here, and they were members of what was called the Austrian Youth Group. And my father had always been a communist, and he worked for the intelligence in the army. He was in the American Army during the Second World War. And after the Second World War, he went back to Vienna. He was stationed in Vienna to work. And then he was accused of being a spy, and was kidnapped by the FBI in Vienna. It was during the McCarthy era, and spent 7 years in a federal penitentiary. And my mother moved here as a result, because my grandparents were still living here from before the war, and she got the marriage annulled because it was the McCarthy era, saying that she didn't know his political leanings at the time. And anyway, so long story, and I still have a half-sister in Vienna because my father, after he was released from prison,
so he could never come. He couldn't stay.
He could never come back here. I visited him afterwards, but I didn't actually meet him again until I was 18.
Oh boy.
So. No, actually 20, sorry, till I was 20.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's...
You never know until you ask.
Right.
Right, exactly.
We all have complicated lives.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, listen, good guys, it's been really a pleasure having you on. I learned a lot about you, Sue.
Well, you knew David better ahead of time.
He's a better talker. Anyway, thanks very much. I really appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
Right.
Thank
you so
you for
much
doing
having
this,
us.
Sheryl.
Right. Thank you.
Well, hi, our next couple up are Hans and Monica Berg. And again, spoiler alert, they don't play pickleball. Hans is very big in the archery club, and Monica is in the glass studio. Hello, Hans and Monica. Thank you for coming in. Did I leave anything out? No. Oh yeah, you play bocce. You're starting to play bocce?
Right. Yeah, we're playing bocce 2-3 times a week, so that's fun.
Anything else? Did I forget anything? Golf?
No, I swim. I do lane, lap swimming, and Hans is very fond of the gym, working out in the gym, and loves to take walks down on the Serpentine Walk. So,
I swim in Clubhouse too. I think you do too.
Yeah.
I've never seen you, but of course,
no,
we wouldn't recognize each other.
No, not with the bathing caps on.
No.
You're not missing anything, believe me.
Same here. Anyway, the 3 questions.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm born in Oslo, Norway, and I came over here 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
Almost.
Long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you, Monica?
I was actually born in Manhattan Beach, raised in Redondo Beach.
Are you a native Californian?
I am
How many generations?
3.
3 generations
Yeah.
Californian? Wow.
Honestly, it's very odd.
Yeah.
My folks are both born in LA, and it's crazy because you don't hear that these days. Everybody's from somewhere else.
That's
and
right.
I'm from just up the freeway, so I kind of feel like I'm cheating sometimes. But yeah.
How long have you guys been a couple?
Well, next year it will be 40.
9?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
next
oh.
year. Next month it'll be 39 years.
39 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to have a big party when it's
Crazy.
40?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe take a little trip or something
Yeah,
somewhere. That'd be
maybe,
nice.
yeah.
That'd be nice. We've
Fine.
got a few things on our bucket list.
And
So-
how long have you guys been in Laguna Woods?
5 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you living before?
Up in Torrance.
Oh, okay,
It's
so it's
not so far away.
Yeah.
not so far away.
Hans had his own business, so it was kind of, we sort of settled there because he did some transportation for the ships, the cargo ships in the port.
What was your business?
Well, I was doing a lot of transportation for some of the ships that came in. They were changing the crew members,
Okay.
send them home on vacation to
Okay.
Philippines or India or wherever. I had to pick up the new crew at the airport, get them to the ships, clear customs, immigration, and
That's a very interesting
yeah, it
business.
was interesting.
Somebody really described it best one time. They said, Monica, isn't that a little on the fringes? Like, how did he figure out that job?
Yeah, how'd you figure that out?
No, actually, that was when I came over here. I didn't have a job, so I was looking for something. And the pastor in the Norwegian Seaman Church in San Pedro, where we got married, he knew I was looking for something, and he called me one day and said, Hans, this Norwegian couple, they have this transportation company in the harbor, and they're looking for help. So I contacted them, and I started working for them. And after a few years, I moved back to Norway, so I kind of took over
About the business, but it was so odd because he had never owned a car in Norway. So he comes over and lives close by, anyway, to LA, in and out of the airport, which is a mess every day, several times a day. And I thought, how did that happen?
I guess you had to, did you buy, it was a company car?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had a big
yeah,
van,
the big vans.
15-seater.
Right,
So-
right. So, and then I had gotten my x-ray license, so I was working in an x-ray lab and got laid off. And I came home and told Hans, and he was not very happy. And he said, well, wait to find another job because I could use you this weekend.
Perfect.
Yeah, you helped me a lot.
Yeah,
with
so
the-
then
with the business.
then I never did go back to find another job. I just worked for him all the years that he owned the business, and yeah.
Okay, let's get started. How did you meet?
Well, back in 1984, I was coming over here on a vacation to visit my brother and his family. They already were living here. And
So
it
you
wa-
were just coming for a visit?
Yeah, and it was the Olympic too, in 1984 Los Angeles. So me and my brother, we went to a lot of the events and a lot of track and field actually up at the Colosseum.
Yeah.
And then one evening, my brother and his wife were going to take me out for a dinner, but I didn't have a date. So they were trying to find a date for me. And what happened then? You can take over.
Yeah. They called me, and I was actually cutting some stained glass at the time. I had this big job that I was offered and cutting stained glass, and they said, would you mind meeting us? We'd like to round out the table. And I thought, really? And they said, yeah, so just meet us at Tony Roma's, and I said, no,
I love Tony Roma's.
I did too. And I thought, oh no, and before I could say no, his sister-in-law hung up on me, and I thought,
Oh, so you knew his brother and sister?
I knew them from a dentist's office that I used to work at.
Okay.
So that's how they got my number. They called my boss, who gave them my number, because you did things like that in the 80s.
Yes.
And so, one of the things that his sister-in-law had told me was, he speaks pretty good English, and if you talk really slowly, he'll understand almost everything you say. And I thought, oh, oh, how fun. Can't wait. So I went in and made a complete idiot out of myself.
You were
because
speaking very slowly.
I was. He was sitting on a bar stool, and nice looking fella, and I walked up and I said, "Hi, my name is Monica." And he just looked at me and started laughing and said, "Really? Great." And I thought, oh,
What did you think when she did that?
Well, you were laughing. It was on purpose, that one.
Anyway, he that was July, August, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he wrote me a postcard when the Olympics were over. He went back to Norway.
Well, you came to the airport to say goodbye to me.
I did. He asked me to come to the airport, and I said no to begin with. And then at the very last minute, I thought, oh, why not? I'll just go up and say goodbye. And I thought he would still be boarding the plane. Well, you know, in those days, again, I ran up to the airport, and there was nobody at the gate. So I actually ran down the ramp to the plane door, and these flight attendants were looking at me like, what are you doing here? And I said, there's somebody on your plane that you need to page. And they said, okay. And I said, his name is Hans Berg. And so they paged him. And poor guy came up to the front of the, plane, just ashen, just like no color in his face at all. I think he thought he was probably getting kicked off the plane for something crazy. But I just looked at him, I said, I just came to say goodbye, and I think I love you. And he said, oh, I think I love you too. I mean, all right. And I thought, oh, okay.
Did you really think you loved him?
I did.
Oh.
I thought we had such a great time. We would talk every night after the Olympics. What'd you see today? What'd you see today?
But wait a minute. You met, and then how soon were you leaving? Was this like a month or two?
Like,
That was just a week or something.
few
week?
weeks. Yeah, a few weeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
a few weeks,
A few
okay.
weeks. Yeah.
All right.
Then like, my vacation was over, you had to go back, and then the month in September you come over to
Yeah,
visit
he wrote me a postcard with cows on it.
That's all what I found.
And it said, I'd like to marry you. If you would like to do that, here's my phone number. And so I called the phone number. And I went over in September, and, most of his family didn't speak English. Some of the younger generation thought I was hilarious because I was trying to learn any word I could. So we went and met his parents who didn't speak English, and I just sat in his mom's kitchen smiling and saying, what are they saying now about me? And they were darling, and that was September, and then he applied for a visa to come over, and in December we got married.
So you met in May and you got married in December.
Met in
August?
July, August, and got married that December.
And you went to a lot of Olympic events?
As many as we could. I went with my family. We never went together.
Yeah, we had different tickets.
Yeah, yeah, to different things.
Yeah.
I saw my first soccer game. Yeah, but that was something we really, really liked. Together.
That was when you could get tickets and they were affordable.
And they were
Yeah.
affordable.
Yeah.
Yes. It's true.
And it was easy to get to because we were in LA.
Right.
We had the
right.
bicycle. I lived in Mission Viejo, and the bicycle event was in Mission Viejo.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with my family, watching them go around,
Yeah.
around and around.
Yes. Yes, but they were so great. And I mean, even things we didn't need tickets for. I remember going to the marathon and seeing Joan Benoit, running the marathon, and she ran right by me. And I was
I
just.
was on that too, actually. So we went to the same, but I was inside the Colosseum.
Yeah. I was apparently didn't get that lucky.
Is this the first time you found out about that?
Yes, actually. I didn't know you were in the Coliseum then. But yeah, but it was, we would talk every night, and, it was great fun.
Oh, how sweet.
Really, great fun. Yeah.
How sweet.
It really was.
So where did you get married?
Well, it was 29th of December, correct?
Yeah.
1984. Yeah, so it will be 39 years.
Yeah.
But did you get married in LA or Norway?
Yeah, we got married in, it's a Lutheran church, but it's the Norwegian Seamen's Church, actually, in San Pedro.
Yeah.
Oh.
And since it's all in Norwegian, and that's where he's from, it was,
Okay.
yeah. So we got married there. His parents came over, and one of his sisters and her husband came over. So
So is the ceremony in both English and Norwegian?
it was mostly Norwegian, actually. I just nodded my head.
And you learn Norwegian too, so you
I
you
did.
speak
I
good
learned to
Norwegian.
speak Norwegian because honestly, his parents didn't speak English, and some of his brothers and sisters that still live in Norway didn't speak English so well. So I just figured, if he's going to move all the way over here, I have to
Yeah.
make an effort here too.
Do your kids speak Norwegian?
Yeah.
I used to speak Norwegian to them when they grew up, and normally they understood what I was saying, and they answered in English,
Right.
but they understood Norwegian,
Right.
so they still speak some
So
Norwegian.
they can understand.
Yeah.
They
your
do.
family.
Our daughter is a little bit, more practiced maybe because she's got kids now.
Right.
And so she's, he's speaking Norwegian to the little grandkids too, which is great fun. It
Okay.
really is really fun to teach, these little tiny human beings.
So you have how many kids?
We have 2 kids,
And how many grandkids?
2.
2. Okay.
Hmm?
How
And they
neat.
live only 5 minutes away in
Lake Forest.
Is
so
that
it's-
what brought you down here?
Yeah, that was one thing.
Not really. We really didn't realize exactly how close Lake Forest was to Laguna Woods
well, we
because
found out.
yeah, we found out pretty quick, didn't we? But yeah, it was such a bonus. It was really a bonus. And when we moved down here, they weren't born yet. They had
Right.
barely gotten married, actually.
Right.
So it was like a huge bonus to know that they were that close. Yeah, it was really fun.
What a great story.
It was fun. It was fun.
Blind date.
Blind date, and we still like each other.
And you still like each
I
other.
know,
Who
right?
knew? Yeah. Well, listen, you
something.
guys, it's really been fun talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
Oh,
for
thank
asking
you.
us.
Yes.
This was really fun.
Yeah, it was.
Really was.
And you don't play pickleball.
No,
No, and no, and no.
Quick question, was your glass work at the bazaar?
It was.
Oh, it was.
At the
It was because I
Bonanza.
saw you there.
At
Great.
the Bonanza, yeah. I love that event.
Yeah, I do.
love that event.
I do too.
It's so fun.
I do too.
Really so fun. It's great.
yeah.
I can't wait till next year.
I know. It's.
Anyway, thank you very much. It's been
Thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
asking us.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks, you
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, here's a shout out for Theater Guild's December 21st Bob Hope Style USO show. All proceeds for this fundraiser will go to the Fisher House, which offers free lodging, food, and emotional support to families of veterans who are undergoing treatment for battle-related injuries. Way to go, Theater Guild. If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.